Moonwater Plane Part 2 update. So this is the patch note or the update notice for Blade and Soul Neo. We're gonna get the Bloodshade Harbor dungeon and the cold storage dungeon. So it's been confirmed that we're getting both dungeon on release date, just like Paul Horan. And the level requirement for these dungeons are level 48. And more important is that it dropped new gear. So the training blades drop the legendary gloves and the purple gloves, and then the command center will drop the legendary bracelet and the purple bracelet. Do know that these you can buy from the faction, but you could craft it from crafting guild, so that's something to be aware of. Now, one of the other things to note is that we're going to be getting the new Bloodshade Harbor social in these two dungeons as well. Very recently, Korea has a new update for this dungeon that actually end up adding legendary soul shield to the Bloodshade Harbor dungeon, and they added the Bloodshade Harbor soul shield to the cold storage dungeon. So it looks like we're not going to be getting this change at the current moment. So our dungeon is only going to drop Bloodshade Harbor soul shield from the Bloodshade Harbor dungeon. So that's something to keep in mind. Venomous Thrasher, this boss is pretty easy. Blood Main, this boss is like the GV. The Twin, this boss, I think this boss technically have the highest DPS requirement, but it's AoEable. So AoE class with a massive advantage like Wind Blade Dancer and stuff like that. And of course we have the final boss, Hey Mujin, that a lot of people are worried about when it comes down to the DPS check requirement. Personally, not really sure how it is going to be. We'll definitely take a look after the patch. Highly recommend to be level 52 or level 53 before you attempt this dungeon. Because with the new patch, we are also going to be confirmed getting the new level expansion. So that's really, really good. And Hey Mujin has a level 51 requirement. So highly recommend you just farm the previous dungeon until you get to like level 52, level 53 before you attempt. So this is really, really good. This means that cold storage should be very farmable for majority of the player base. Just because when Korea first got cold storage, they don't have the level 55 expansion. And in our patch, we're going to be tackling cold storage at a higher level than when Korea first got it. So most players should be able to reach cold storage once they have level up to like 52, level 53, and the extra stat will really, really help, okay? So this is really good. Legendary skills. Personally, I'm not a fan of them adding this skill at the current moment, just because this is going to make the purple price go up. Maybe. No idea how this affect the market. Not really a prediction. But right now, purple books for the most part sell at a minimum of 2,000 to 3,000, even on the really garbage one, 2.5k there. Just because some people collect purple pages to re-roll the pages. Something to know about the legendary skills is that it takes 50 purple pages and it's a 5% chance to upgrade. So it's completely unrealistic. Not really sure if anyone is going to actually go for it unless you like swipe a lot of money and gamble at a casino. There's no point of going for this. But of course, I don't dedicate a market. I don't make the market. So it just comes down to how the market react to this. I personally think that most people should not be stupid enough to go for legendary skills. But some people might be, and that will bump the price of purple books up for a lot of people, which is not really a bad thing, to be honest. Just because like if your books is worth something right now, it's already selling for a lot, and the only thing that this does is gonna bump the price of purple book that's not worth anything even higher. So it's gonna be better off for people who are getting like random purple chests and selling them. Hard to say how the market is gonna react. Again, not a market predictor. New battle pass. So the new battle pass is gonna have purple chests and a blue chest. So the new Battle Pass Season 3 is going to come on the new patch as well. It's going to contain the same benefit as usual, and it's going to contain a purple chest and a blue chest. Now I want to make it very clear that both of these are bang, and both of these are RNG. They're not selectable. This is confirmed. If they were selectable, it would have said selectable superior skill book chest. Personally, I'm pretty disappointed by this decision. Especially that it's a bound book. Because bound purple book is going to be like useless for like so many people unless you high roll. So basically just mean like these two skills are completely useless unless you get really, really lucky. For example, for my personal bound purple chest that I got from level 50, I got Shockwave. And it's completely unusable. So basically my level 50 chest that I got is just not very good. And it's going to happen at the exact same thing here. For what it's worth, when Korea first got their cold storage patch on November 20th, their new battle pass actually have 2 selectable blue chests. So I was really hoping that we would be getting this change here, because that would make so many player more playable. If you're playing like assassins and then you try to go for electro peers, which is here, it will make the price of this drop so fast because you can just buy it from the battle pass. But the fact that this is random means it's not gonna affect the market, so that's kind of sucks. And I'm pretty disappointed with this change. By the way, for what it's worth, if you're playing assassins, you should just consider playing hardstep because it's so much cheaper. Like for some reason, people don't play hardstep when the entire build is like 10 times cheaper than electro peers. But I guess it's harder to play, so. But yeah, pretty disappointed with this change. If the purple chest was tradable, I think I'll be a little happier because then everyone can just get. There's gonna be a more flood of purple book on the market, and either the price is gonna go down, or even if you low roll, you can still make money by selling the purple chest. So that's pretty good. But unfortunately, both these aren't getting bound, which is like the worst combination ever. But with that being said, we did get 50 gold chests. We did get the 50 gold chests back. Overall, I've been collecting a little bit of data. It seems like majority of the people collect around 80 to 90 gold. In my experience, that's about to be the case. If you high roll, you can get like 120, 130 gold. Off the go alone, I think the battle pass is pretty worth it. Just because if you assume this is like 80, 90 or like 100 golds kind of, you're getting about 1.8k N coin if you sell the gold back to the market. So 100 gold is worth 2.1. So 80 gold is maybe worth like 1.8, 1.9 N coin. I have no idea. Assuming the N coin don't drop in value. Oh, sorry, assuming the gold don't drop in value, which is probably wouldn't, because everyone need gold to upgrade the new gear. So the battle pass is worth it just because you come out even and you get all of these like extra stuff on top, and you get a chance to high roll a purple skills. And if you do high roll a purple skills, then you're like set. So I think the battle pass is worth it for pretty much everyone. So if you're free to play, highly suggest you somehow collect 2,000 N coin to sell the battle pass. If you don't know how to make N coin, definitely craft sykes. These sykes go for 300 each, and they're very easy to make. Yeah, that's the battle pass detail. Moving on to the new update, we got cold storage. So this is of course the new cold storage dungeon. Cold storage is a very easy to do dungeon. Obviously, I'm gonna have a guide up sometimes later, but for the most part, this boss just stands in the middle and he doesn't do anything. He has very slow and obvious attack. He mimics like a Sajivi, and he has one mechanics that your team has to deal with. Just to give a quick guide, the mechanics is that when you see a text and he wake up the robot, you need to be away from the boss because the robot will target your last known position. And you need to make sure that these robots never hit the boss. If the robot ever came across contact with the boss, it will give him a defense buff, and then your DPS check will be significantly higher. So you need to make sure that these robots stay away from the boss. But otherwise, this entire boss just stand in the middle for the most part. Very slow and obvious attack pattern. So I think if your characters is geared enough, this dungeon should not be difficult to tackle for most people. If you're not geared enough, then you can get a few level, because again, at the time this is a level 50 dungeon. Once you're level 51, 52, this dungeon should be very easily farmable. And the thing with the cold storage is that it dropped the new purple belt. It say it can drop bound superior skill book chest, so that would be very interesting to see if that was the case, because then that would make most people have their complete boost skill setup. So we'll see. And then finally, of course, we got the new Calico Cat outfit. This outfit is really nice. I think it's gonna cost probably the same as how much the Blackbird costs, which is gonna be 4,000 N coin on here. Oh, that's interesting. But yeah, so the last thing I want to call for this patch is that there might be some hidden unannounced changes, just like before. One of the things with Blade and Soul is that it seems like these patch is more of an overview rather than patch note, and we don't actually get patch note. One of the thing with patch note is that there are going to be skill changes. So if you didn't know, on Korea, for example, many class got a skill changes. For example, on Blade Dancers, the Blade Guard is now a speccable skills. This is currently not the case in our version. If I look at my Blade Guard, there's no skill book for this, but they added a skill book for this. And other things like on Summoners, they have added things like a new buff, which is called a honey buff and stuff like that. It's very likely that we might get some skill changes, just because it historically looked like skill balance patch is something we get on time. Just like how we got the party boot buff nerf immediately as soon as Korea got it. The best way to tell if your class got changed is to come to the skill tree website, yes, and then on the bottom right of the website, there's a patch comparison tool. And then what we can do is kind of highlight the current patch and we can highlight the new patch, and you're going to be able to see what skill changes there are. So for example, this is the Blade Dancer change that was in the previous patch, and once we are able to get a new patch, we can do a patch comparison. Right, I'll probably make a separate video on this, so definitely say subscribe and stuff like that. I'm very curious to see how the other region Battle Pass got, because maybe they got selectable chests just like how Korea has it back in the days. We don't know. Again, I'll be checking out what the Taiwan servers and the Japan servers is getting when their patch do drop. Taiwan server is, I think, a week or 2 weeks behind us, so in 2 weeks we'll be able to see what the other region got. But that is the overall patch summary. So with that being said, I'll be streaming live today on twitch.tv, so be sure to tune in. And with that being said, bye bye.